So here is a song that I've made called Hold Me Now. In this video, I'm going to get into the EQ and the effects on every single sound. Maybe this will help someone out there, maybe it won't. I've kept this very simple and I'm very happy with the mix and how it's sounding all together. Let's get into it. Main sound and the high sound together, let's go. Gives you a cool kind of vibe. It's got that delay stuff going all over the place. Pads. Let's bring in the bass, let's go. Everything else. Oh yeah, and into the drop, let's get it. Here we go. Here we are. Let's start with the very first sound. I've tried to keep it in a really good order over here. The piano first. This is the intro piano. It's the only time I have that piano. I've rolled off 250 hertz. I've taken off all the bassy sound on the piano. I just dipped it down a little bit so it's not so harsh on the ears. And we have a sound above that which carries on into the first verse. So it goes along with this piano. And I think I've rolled off a hell of a lot here. Yeah, I really have. And now it carries on into the verse. It keeps going. Stops by the pre-chorus. So what I've done here is I've rolled off basically the whole thing because I just need the high end of it, the brightness. So I also dipped it a little bit in the mids to make space for my other instruments that come in. So I literally just need its brightness. I'm not even going to boost the brightness. I'm just taking off most of these instruments. I'm just taking away a little bit of unnecessary stuff. Like I said, to me, my mix is sounding good. I'm sure there's other people out there that boost sounds, boost mids. So I've rolled off over 1,000. Okay, let's take that back a bit. See, I don't need all this. You hear that? That's too much bassy sound. So I'm going all the way. I just need the brightness. Take away unnecessary frequencies that don't need to be there. Let's go with the first sound of the verse. Cool sound. I do want to keep some of its low to mid, so I haven't rolled off so much. Otherwise, you're not going to get the feel of it. It's got a nice feel to it. So I've rolled off, okay, 250, same as the first piano. I want to feel a little something. So if I bring it out, it's too much. Listen, yeah. Too much bass. So I've rolled it off to 250. Yep, so that is it. And did I do anything else? I boosted the high end a little bit. I did take it up a bit just to add like a slight brightness. That doesn't really make a difference. A little bit of warmth, but I mean, let's get on to the next sound. This is a trance sound that comes in from underwater. So I've done a high cut frequency to make it sound like it's way underwater. Watch the EQ. Starts coming out. Okay, so I did stop it there. I didn't bring it all the way back in. So what I've done, I've automated that very thing that you see on the EQ. I've also taken off 400 hertz because this is a bright sound. I don't need the bass end of it because we need to make space for the actual bass. So yes, I've taken off 400. It's basically halfway up the EQ diagram. Then I automated the high cut frequency and I bring it back in. So this is what I've done. I didn't bring it from 0, otherwise you won't hear anything. Okay, and obviously let me go further. And then as you can see over here, I've brought it from pretty much the same place. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. This will be the first part of the chorus now, and then full force for the second part of the chorus. Okay, but let's go back to where we were. A little bit of delay, kind of a general. I didn't actually even touch this. I just threw it on, put on a little bit of chrome verb. I'm gonna take this EQ out a little bit. Remember to EQ your reverb, yeah? Also low end, it doesn't need to be there. I'll do again. This is our main sound of the verse. Also a spreader, it just made it sound bigger, more spacious. Yeah, try it. Sometimes it'll work with the sound, sometimes it won't. Also, just a chroma verb, I actually haven't even done this. Silly me, silly me. So I'm just taking the EQ on the actual reverb out. Yeah, so this is the low end of the reverb sound, yeah, not the sound, the reverb. What did I do to the sound? If I go back one more, I've also reverb, nothing special, same thing. I haven't even got onto this. Okay, then, yeah, there's my EQ, which should just be there. And then my delay also, I think it's just, okay, I took the delay down a little bit, nothing too hectic. And then a tremolo at 40%. Okay, so the tremolo is on this sound. Put a tremolo on it, and a tremolo makes it jump between left pan and right pan, and it depends how much you want to put on that. You can put 100%, so it'll go bounce all the way to the left speaker and all the way to the right. I've put it on 40%. 40% tremolo, so it's just kind of doing this, so we can make space for things that need to be in the center. So I've rolled off up to 74 from the left. So this is the low end because I don't actually need it to be so heavy. And then I've taken down some mids on the kick to make space for the sounds that we just went through now and anything else that comes in, and a vocal. This was a trick I learned recently. You'll be surprised, the kick takes up quite a bit of space and then you wonder why it's not hitting the way that it should. Something just doesn't sound right when you play it on other sound systems. You need the kick to come through. So I've taken away some mids and I've also rolled off on the high end because I do not need it on this kick. I only need the low end. The high kick, this is the high one. Yeah, also just an EQ, kept it dry. I've rolled off quite a bit because I think it's very bright. So I've taken off 1,000 from the bright side. It doesn't need to be so bright. You've got to just listen, give it a listen with your ears and just go with what sounds right. It's actually the same. I'm still getting the brightness from it, even though I've rolled off so much, but the sound on its own is already a brighter sound. So we've got low, we've got high, and we've got the offbeat kick. And then the EQ is basically the same. Also mids are down, I've taken off 120, I've taken off a little bit more low end. If this is an offbeat kick, I don't want it to be exactly the same kind of impact as the normal kick that you have throughout the song. So this is just like an extra sound in between the kicks. I've taken off a little bit of brightness. You want to hear it there, you want to feel it, but not as much as the actual kick. We are done with the kick. Okay, I do not need this. I don't know why that reverb was there. I've just got a bit of EQ. I've dipped down some of the brightness because it's a very, very bright clap. So I've taken that down a little bit. I've rolled off 700 from the low end because there are no lows in the clap, and we're just making space and cleaning up. Okay. 2.5 from the low end because this can be a very, very bassy kick, and it's just going to sound too bassy on some sound systems. It's going to take over the whole song, so you don't need as much. But remember just to suss it out, listen on different sound systems, roll off until the whole mix is sounding comfortable. I've rolled off serious high end on this bass because it's quite a bright sound. So I've taken it down, rolled it all the way down to 200, and I mean we could leave it at 200. Let's leave it at 280, so you've got like an in-between. Okay, so I've taken off a lot of the high end of that sound because it's also, I don't need that sound in my track because I've got my other sounds. So I just need the bass bit of it. So there it is. Then I've put on a Nicky Romero kickstart. Okay, I've gone to 80% and I've done a sidechain. Just because of the kick, we need the kick to have space. So I've got two kicks going here, the low and the bright, and obviously the in-between one, which means nothing. But I need to make space for the kick to hit. Here is where the kick goes in here. This is where the kick hits, so I don't want any volume on the bass. And then as soon as the kick ends, the bass comes in. So it's just making that space for the kick to be here. So you've got to sidechain your bass. Sometimes sidechaining kicks as well to end the kick sooner so the bass can come in. Sometimes you need to sidechain your kick if the kick sound is too long, to make space for the bass to come in. So sidechaining your kick just right, and then obviously your bass to come in at the right time, because you want to hear each instrument separately. You want to hear the kick and you want to hear the bass. You want to specifically hear each one, otherwise they are too muffled. This next part of the song, I've kept the bass the same sound, but I've taken off the sidechain because there is no kick happening there, no kick. And then back to the chorus, as you can see, I've made a new channel for the bass just to put the kickstart back on. Then I made a third channel for the same bass sound. I've put the kickstart back on because this is where the drop comes in, but I made it a third channel because it is a different pattern on the way I've played the bass in. In this one, the bass does more staccato, boom 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 boom, and in the first bass it's just long notes. So this is one long note and then up, holding down. And then in the chorus, my EQ is the same. And the kickstart is 80% and still making space for the kick to come in. So that is Nicky Romero kickstart, also on this chorus bass, but not on the second part where there is no beat. Kick and the bass, just remember to side chain your stuff to make space for all your instruments. Okay, on the right, on the left, together. You can hear the delay. I've doubled this here. So I've made two channels. This one kind of goes to the left speaker and this one goes to the right. As you can see here, I've got my EQ, which I've rolled off quite far, 402. I've taken down some of the mid sounds and some brightness. I felt like I didn't need it, and I just want to make space for everything else. This is just like a background sound. It's a nice sound, but you don't need so much brightness because you need space for vocals and kick and clap and everything else. So that's what I've done with that. I've put on a bit of delay. The standard delay starts on 30. I've brought it down to 15. Otherwise I haven't touched anything else. Just a slight effect on there, and then the direct. So this will go 90 all the way to the right and then to the left. So it's an exact copy and paste. Okay, so this has got a Nicky Romero kickstart on it as well. I just wanted to go along with the bass. Let's bring the bass in. They're doing the same thing. Okay, the bass comes in on the next part where there's no beat, and then the pads can just stay straight, just like the bass. There it is. bass. There it is. So I've got side chain on the strings and the bass when the beat's in there, then no side chain for the pre-chorus, and then there's obviously no strings in the drop, but yes, if I had to bring the strings and get in again with the beat, I will side chain it. Let's take away the bass real quick. I have EQ'd a lot out, all the way to the middle. 470 is off, don't need it because it's got a very bassy kind of sound if I bring it in. See? That actually sounds like the bass was in there now. And that's literally just that pad, so I don't need the bassy sound of that pad, so I've taken it off. I think I went to 5, was it 470? Yeah, 470, bang. And I've rolled off some high end as well, because it is probably also way too bright. I just need this area to play. It sounds good now, so I don't need the brightness, I don't need the low end. Same thing on this one, without the kickstart. Reverb on there. I don't even remember putting this on, but it seems to be fine. I like the way it sounds, don't care. Okay, the bus here, what is it going to? I think it's going also to another reverb and an EQ that is doing nothing. So that I think is just a default situation. Don't care, I'm going to leave it the way it is. Big sound that comes in, like a ship coming in. Let's take this out, it's like a horn. I think I've just EQ'd out a little bit on it. Oh yes. Okay, there's a little bit that's off here. I rolled it off originally when it was still a MIDI. And then I rolled off a little bit more now on audio. So I've bounced this now. This is actually an audio. No, not the whole track. Okay. That's nice. I think I had this as 3 different MIDI tracks for each note. I wanted to do a different volume for them, but now I've bounced them as one, so here it is. I had so originally on my MIDI I had 3 different tracks of this. I think it was for different volumes for each little one. That was a different volume, that was, and I've bounced this now as one. So yes, I probably EQ'd a lot of low end off. You just want it to still be a little bit lighter than what your bass is. So you don't want this and the bass to clash. So keep playing around until you feel like you are in a good place with this sound and your bass sound. Still hits, but it's not like a lot of boomy sound. Piano, this also comes in. So I've done a high cut frequency and a volume. Okay, so I brought it in with volume. This yellow line is volume. This is an automation, and then if I change it to the high cut frequency, that's how it comes in from underwater. So I've got a volume coming in and coming in from underwater. So let's play it. Damn. That was like with the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean. Here it is, all the way to full brightness. Let's go. Got a compressor on it, probably just to make it more bold. It's not necessary, you can always just push the volume. So yeah, that's just sounding, it's got a nice loudness about it. And then my EQ, very simple, drops tiny bit of mids, not too much, and then I've rolled off 240. So it's almost like my very first sound as well. So pretty much in the same place as the very first piano that started the song. I've got delay once again, same kind of delay, just for a little bit of effect. And here I finally got it right. I got it right. This is my reverb that I like to use, Warm Vibes. And I've rolled off the low end. And then I've actually done a sidechain, Nicky Romero kickstart, to make space for the kick. So now this is in obviously the chorus. So I've got to feel that kick coming through. So I've made space for the kick to be here, and then the piano comes in just after the kick hits. So going along with the bass it is. A tremolo, and I put it on 10%. So it's only going left and right at about 10%. So it's working itself around vocals and kick. Then we've got side hats, which I've taken off a lot of EQ. I've taken it all the way off. Look at this. Look at this. Don't even know why that's doing that. No point now because it's all off. So I literally just need that high sound. Don't know why I've moved this slightly to the left. Did I move the cymbals to the right? Let's see. I did. So I've panned the cymbals to the right a little bit, and then the hi-hat to the left. So one is panned to the right and one is panned to the left. It's just also to work around vocals and around things that are in the center. So a little bit of wideness there. I've EQ'd off a hell of a lot on both. Yeah, this doesn't need to be there. It doesn't make sense anymore. And there you have it. I must have taken off a whole load. Okay, I must have taken a lot. Not as much as the hi-hats, but yeah, I've taken off a lot. All the way up to 2000 over there. So all the way up to there, and just dropped off a little bit on the brightness. Yeah, you just want to keep the high ends the high end. It's a high sound. So you don't need other unnecessary stuff. So that is a high string. And then we have, again, this is one sound that I've doubled. So we've got it on the left and on the right. I've moved it out to 90 left and 90 on the right. Okay, once again, just a bit of reverb and a bit of delay. And yeah, there's my EQ. So I've kept it all high. The sound goes like this. Let's bring in the high string above it. These come into the second part of the chorus. So I haven't put these anywhere else. It's just for a nice open feel. Let's play those together. This is all high-end stuff. I've rolled off so much EQ. You can hear that, eh? And I'm making space for my low-end stuff. Okay, I've got this weird piano here that comes in. It's not even noticeable in the song. I've EQ'd off quite a lot, as you can see there. I think I brought it in with volume. Do I have a high cut frequency? I don't. I just brought volume in. We go. We have Michael's guitars. Michael came and played for me. This is the pre-chorus just before the drop. I needed to have guitars here. Okay, so as you can see, I've asked him to play this 8 times. So he sat there and he played each one. I've kind of panned 2 and 2. I've done them in pairs. So these two I've panned left and right. I've done a whole bunch of different EQs to each one. As you can see, I've rolled off a lot, so that there's space for that bass that comes in. This would be slightly similar. Yeah, I have put a compressor on them just for some loudness. These will all be left and right. So I've panned left. Okay, that's 100 left. And then 100 right on the speakers. This one would probably be a little bit, still 100, still 100. As you can see, I've put reverb on each one. There we go, just for a little bit of warmth. Let's see, 100, 100. They're all pretty far out. Okay, so they all are. Okay, so I obviously made space for vocals because there are a lot of vocals. Okay, so I've done the same. They're all out, but they're all in pairs. Pretty much the same effects. The EQ might change a little bit, but as you can see, in general, I've taken it halfway out because there is a bassy sound to guitars, which we don't need. There's a very bassy sound to guitars. Okay, so that is Michael's guitars. one of them. So each time he plays them, they're going to be slightly different, which gives you a really full feeling. It's a nice big feeling of strings going, like guitar strings, rather than copying and pasting, because then it's going to phase, because it's the exact same wave file. Then lastly, so here's all the 400 vocals going on here. We won't get into that now. But then lastly, I have that's quite a nice sound, and this starts the song off. So literally that's the only time it happens in the song. Comes in with the piano, and I've just taken off a little bit of EQ on there. Nothing too serious. I've put on a hell of a reverb, Bright Hall, and I've let it linger for quite a while. So keep playing around with your reverb if you want a big sound like this in the background. Then I have a reverse cymbal. Okay, originally I put a lot of reverb on it, and then I bounced it into an audio. So you won't see the reverb here, but there is a hell of a lot on it to keep it going at the end. Okay, so that is just one reverse cymbal. I think this is a big white noise coming out. Yeah, it sure is. Okay, so this is two similar sounds that I've put together. On this one I've rolled off a hell of a lot, because once again this is more of a high frequency sound, so I don't need the lows of this. It will sound too much, it'll be hurtful to the ears. And then on this one I've put one hell of a reverb, and this is Space D. So I've got reverb from here, from Space D, and then from Chromaverb as well. Here we go. I must actually roll this off. Glad I'm doing this now so I can actually see. Yeah, and that's white noise, reverse cymbal, starting sound. Let's play them all together. Starts the song. Oh, that's great, man. So that, as they say, is that. Did I miss out anything? Let me just check this out. Probably more white noise for the chorus. Different kind of white noise. Different kind. It's a nice long feel. It's not as bright, but it's something nice in the background to give you that stadium kind of feel. And this comes into the second part of the chorus. This is a laser zap. Okay. Reverse cymbal, white noise, laser zap. Let's bring in these sounds. Okay, I'll do it without the beat. Here it comes. I'm just going to go back a bit. Let's go to the start of the chorus. Now this isn't all the sounds, but this is so you can hear the reverse cymbal into the white noise and that laser zap. I've muted the beat. Let's just hear this with some of the sounds. White noise. This would be by the drop. Here it comes. Let's go backwards. So from the high stuff that comes in the second part of the chorus and work our way to the start of the song. High strings. Coming up for the second part of the chorus, piano and the high stuff. Let's get it. Let's add the bass to that lot. And let's add the trance sound that comes in. The high strings with the trance sound. So there's a harmony going on there. Take a listen. that, as they say, is that. So that was the EQ and effects on every single sound. If that was helpful in any kind of way, don't forget to like and subscribe. Maybe comment if you think there's something I should know. However, I am very happy with the mix, the overall mix, and how it is sounding. Look out for my next video, episode 4, where I get into Lucy's and my vocals, how I've arranged them, and what I've done to them. Peace!